I've been viewing our Inferno demos, and there's a couple of rounds I want to talk about in this one in particular. Now, this is one we played on the 27th. We won it. It was a scrim, I believe. This is the third round, so we lost the first two rounds. We can buy now. So Debug has off the warmer, but they'll probably be fine. Anyway, this is a round where I'll talk about the A site. And in this round, we set up very default. So if you stop at this point, we've got Boost playing the Arch, we've got JJ playing the Porch, and Doobie playing up on the balcony. Very, very common. And here's what happens. So they run up. Let's get half speed. The T's are able to run straight into the crossfire. Actually, I'll just show you. Come on. There we go. They just run up, ramp, and they get the two trades. And the problem is that they smoked off, they smoked off the Arch, so Boost pushed through the smoke in order to help. And then JJ was stuck here alone. So here, I'll show you. Basically, it went about as badly as the round really could have. So now I'm going to show you a different round where even though we lose the round, it actually goes much better. Let's get back to 1x speed. So in this round, we do what I would call a double porch setup. Not right away, but we shift into it. So Debug, so instead of Boost and JJ being over here, now it's JJ and Debug. So Boost went over towards B. So Debug peeks Alt, and JJ is sitting Arch with him. And when they throw the Arch smoke, when the T's throw the Arch smoke, this is when we get into the double porch. So what's good about this is once the T's come around this corner, they can be shot from boiler and porch, which are very different angles, and we can get the kills. Now, unfortunately, that's kind of a strategy. Doesn't actually work as well with pistols as it does with a rifle, because you can't spray. Crossfires are much more important when you have spray weapons. So I'm going to go back to the third round, and I'm going to give some suggestions on what to do. So we've got Boost and JJ here. Now on a gun round, that's watch what happens. So first thing is, it's not worth pushing that smoke. It's not worth pushing this smoke here. Now, if you were doing a double Arch setup where you had one guy close, and then the deep guy got smoked off, then it's worth pushing. But it's not worth pushing a smoke just to help your guy at porch. At that point, the porch guy's responsibility is to get the fuck out of it. And that's what this kind of a setup is good for. When you've got one guy Arch and one guy porch, that's very good for spotting information, because you can find out where the terrorists are. So if you have an op, it's good to hold any of these angles. If you have a rifle, I recommend jiggle peeking, actually. Not even going for a kill. If you jiggle peek and there's only one guy, fine, swing and kill him. But if you jiggle peek and there's three guys, like there would have been in this instance, fall back to sight and set up with a crossfire with Doobie. Plus, that way, Doobie has some cover when they get in once the terrorists push into the site. So my first suggestion is to just spot unless you have an op. If you have an op, go for a kill. Although with an op, spotting and it doesn't make sense to shoulder peek if you have an op because you can just hold the line and you can shoot them actually before they can shoot you because you can shoot them in the arm as it comes out. So that's fine. Oh, with a rifle? Nah, better to spot. I made that mistake on a more recent Inferno game, and that was stupid of me. So I will take my own advice when I end up playing in the future. Okay, so that's the first option. Just spot. Second option is to actually play a setup much more akin to the pistol round, where you pick one side. You pick porch or you pick arch to hold, and then you hold from there, especially now that you have rifles. Neither of you have an op. The op's over at the B site, so you both have AUGs. And if you had an AUG and boiler and you had an AUG at porch, you very well could have maybe not held off all 4 guys, but probably killed 3 and then died. And then Doobie is in a 1-on-1 instead of a 4-on-1 in the site. Yeah, that's all I've got to say for this round. So I'm going to go back to the pistol round and again give some analysis and possible solutions. So fast forwarding. Oh goodness, good grief, fast forwarded too fast. Whatever. So as you can see, JJ and Debug. I like this spot. Debug, like I said, it's kind of rough to play that spot with a pistol. Because the nice thing about pistols is you can fire a shot, fall back, fire a shot, fall back. You don't give yourself any fallback positions here, although you were pretty stuck. At this point, it might have been better. So you could have rotated and then had Doobie jump into the mini pit and JJ fall back into site. You could have just all rotated back to the site and then take your shots from here, hold the pit and hold the site, and just give them arch and porch. That's an option. Another option is when all these flashes come through, that's when, who was, I think JJ was the one who was at arch, and he ran to porch when the flashes came through. So that could have been a time to just hold the smoke, because especially on pistol rounds, it can be one of the best rounds to jump through a smoke because you're less likely to get one tapped coming out of the smoke than sprayed down as you come through smoke. So yeah, close angles like this are generally not advisable with a USP. Nice thing about Inferno is there are a lot of real long angles. So you can go in the pit, you can go at Moto, you can play. Actually, that's about it, unless you want to go graveyard, which I guess is viable, but it's just kind of hard to get into that position. So what else? What I've said is you can just spot for information and fall back, or you can push up like you did, but then try and get a shot from boiler and then fall back into the apartments. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so if you're playing this as a rifler on a gun round, and you want to do a double porch setup like this, it's actually better to have Doobie playing in the pit than playing in the apartments. And so Doobie, this is my advice for you, is if these guys are playing double porch, then you should go, you can either go into the site, and that way you can rotate back and check Moto occasionally, or play in the pit, where you can just spot to see if they come out of the balcony. Because first of all, if you're in the pit, you can help as the terrorists run up porch. Porch is actually a position where even if you have 2 guys there, you can still lose the trades. In order to really hold it down, you're going to need 3 guns. Which is why it's so useful for the terrorists to take porch, because it's relatively simple to take. And also, let's say they rush apartments rather than rushing brackets. Doobie, if you die, JJ and Debug or JJ in particular is totally fucked. So if we're playing on rifles and we're doing a double porch like this, it's better to play from the site. So I know this isn't really the stuff y'all are most interested in. It's something that I actually saw some good potential on. I think it'll win us 1 or 2 CT rounds every half.